Hello and welcome to the WebNav podcast. I'm Spinling and I'm with my good buddy, my good friend, I guess, Toastify.
I guess. What do you mean by I guess? What's that for? What
I
do you mean?
guess,
What?
man. Fuck
I
it,
guess this
whatever. Sure,
guy.
you're
This
my
guy
good
might be
friend.
a friend. Hello,
This guy might
hello,
be chill. I don't
hello,
know.
hello, hello, hello. What's going on, Spinling, my good friend, who we definitely talk to all the
Nothing
time?
much, buddy.
Nothing much. Why are we doing this then?
I don't know.
Okay,
You
dude.
wanna quit?
Yeah. You know what? I might do that. I might just
Walks off
join.
stage.
I might.
I'm done.
I might just join. What was the other one you were gonna do? That live show.
I
No, not
forgot.
inverted. The other one with
Oh, Viral
fucking.
Nights.
Yes, that one. Yeah, I'll do that again. Max
Fuck
2.
you.
Alright, anyway, sorry. Let's stop fucking around. We're talking about Brass Eye today. We're talking about a show that both of us adore, I think.
I hold it so dear to my heart.
I was.
Hilarious.
For the audience that isn't British, I guess you'll be a little confused. So what we're gonna do, I guess walk your hand through. Well, I guess not walk your hand. Take your hand. No one walks hands. We're gonna take your hand and walk you through this entire thing because I think we love fucking just the idea. This like early like 90s British satire. I adore it.
Yeah, stuff like Alan Partridge, Brass Eye. I'm trying to think, like a bunch of British stuff. A lot of like sitcom-y stuff, but like Brass Eye, Alan Partridge.
bro only
What
knows
was the
two
movie that had
comedies.
Alan Partridge in it? 24-Hour Party People is one of my favorite comedy movies. Well, it's
Yeah,
not a
dude.
comedy, but
Mm.
it kind of is. But it's a fucking awesome movie. And then obviously the IT Crowd came out, and I was a big fan of that.
This is IT crowds where I disconnect because this is something that is
Really?
not for me. I mean, actually, no, it isn't for me. No, I wouldn't say so because I kind of find, I don't know, I find it kind of boring, kind of nuclear sake.
It does in the later seasons. The first couple of seasons are pretty funny, but that's because Christopher Morris is like main stage, and then he kills himself in the show.
I see that. Well, yeah, spoilers, but that is a funny that is
It's a funny old show.
that is true actually. Fair enough. I've seen the clip. It is quite funny. Um. And they actually treat it like an actual thing, and he has like a whole like procession and stuff. It's crazy. But we're not talking
Yeah.
about Brass Eye. Sorry, we are talking about Brass Eye. We're not talking about the IT crowd today. We're talking about Brass Eye. This is a show that genuinely, I think it is incredibly ahead of its time on how absurd it is. To the fact that it's now predicted things that have happened in modern day quite a lot, and yet it's still
Yeah.
very poignant. When it comes to the satire, it's funny. Let me be clear, it's also funny.
It's fucking
It is
hilarious.
fucking funny.
My favorite two bits are the one where the woman goes, "He really is a shit," and it just continues from there.
Hmm.
And then there's the one where it's like, what pedophile did they put on a spaceship? Peter Sutcliffe, and
No, yeah, I think I don't know which. I don't know if it was Peter. So
like, we put one of
they put
the Britain's worst pedophiles out into outer space. Unfortunately, a 4-year-old boy is now stuck on the ship with the man.
on the space. This is the
People at
one
NASA
thing.
said
This is the
we
one
didn't want
thing
to
we didn't
happen.
want to happen. That's gold. That's a fantastic way to start off that entire episode.
Yeah.
In case you're a little unaware, we'll kind of explain you the whole thing in case you don't want to go and watch this. These 6 hours, I think it is of the entire episode. 6 hours plus the special, so like 7 hours of
Yeah.
gold. Brass Eye was kind of conceived by Chris Morris, who is a satirist, comedian, in kind of out of the very much kind of parodying the documentary style stuff that was going on in Britain at the time.
Louis
Obviously,
Theroux kind of
in a
stuff
way,
going on.
well, I wouldn't say Louis Theroux, but like Newsnight, these kind of news
Oh, yeah.
organizations. I think it gets
Definitely.
that a lot more. I think this is a before Louis Theroux, I'd say. But you just kind of saw. I think Chris Morris is a guy who just kind of saw the absurdity of media and news, and in an age where media and news has become more strange than ever, I think Brass Eye is still pretty relevant. It continues to continues to pop up. I guess just socially, I'd say we live in a society, and Brass Eye is
We live in a society.
It's the societal thing. But he done it before. Chris Morris had worked with Armando Iannucci, who's done some really good stuff as well. He's done The Thick of It, which is not a song by KSI, but in fact a very nice political satire where Peter Capaldi yells and swears all the time, and that just makes my heart tingle. He's done some other stuff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. My mind's gone to a blank because I know he's done some other stuff.
Well, there's a bunch of actors from Brass Eye. Mark Heap played Jim in Friday Night Dinner, and he also did a bunch of other stuff.
Oh, he did the Death
guy
of
who has the
Stalin.
bad AIDS.
I fucking forgot he did the Death of Stalin. Yeah, Death of Stalin's a fantastic film, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I love that. I loved watching that. I could do an entire thing. Actually, I don't think I could do an entire thing because I'd spoil it. But Death of Stalin's a great satire as well. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. That was the one I was thinking of. They did some of the Alan Partridge stuff as well. So they'd work together on this the Day to Day, which is kind of like a precursor to Brass Eye. Basically, like a news format, like live 24-hour news covering all this stuff. And in a lot of ways, it kind of precurses it. The only thing is that instead of focusing on specific topics, it kind of just goes all about the place and does different reports and stuff. So it is like in that way, it was kind of spread out, and not to say that I think comedically they're on the same level. Obviously, the part where he sends,
but it's also different mediums.
the part where he sends Peter O'Hanrahan to the Ford thing. And he just gets the numbers wrong, and he just fucking humiliates him live on air. It's one of the funniest bits ever, because the acting is perfect, and he just gets like a deer in headlights. And I think it's hilarious to have this, like, the idea would be to just absurd, make the news. Like, that's what satire is. It's making the news absurd whilst also making the media kind of absurd, but also kind of having a comedic, and it was also having a point, I guess. I wouldn't say the point is as relevant with the Day to Day. I think that's more just funny. With Brass Eye, though, there are genuinely a lot of really interesting overtones to play with. I think it says a lot,
especially with the pedophile stuff.
Yeah, well, I'll get onto that, but
that was a really big issue. Yeah,
I mean, do we want to talk about that now? We can start with the pedo stuff.
We can start with the pedo stuff. Well, that it's not all of the jokes, but it's a lot, and it's the funniest parts of them, in my opinion, because I love my pedo jokes.
You love being a pedo, jokingly.
I love pedophiles.
I love
Mr. Pedo.
Clippers. We're actually begging for Clippers. That's crazy, Actually,
and
nuts.
Sponsors.
And Clippers and sponsors, please come out here.
Clippers sponsors.
So I guess we'll skip ahead a little, because the most infamous episode of Brass Eye, and one of the most controversial, I'd say, things that are probably going to scare viewers away, is the pedo episode. So Brass Eye had a format where they would tackle social issues in one episode each. So one, it was about I think STDs and stuff. The other one was about
bad
sex.
AIDS.
Sex. Yeah. The thing where he goes up, he's like, "You got bad AIDS. You've got bad AIDS.
Yeah.
I've got good AIDS." So there's sex and there's animals and stuff. Drugs. That was a great one. That was a really funny one. But I guess one of the most profound ones, and also one of the funniest, is the Pedo-Geddon episode, which aired a couple of years later as a special after the show had ended. And essentially the entire premise is that it is exaggerated to absurd. Basically, the plot is they're doing a national pedo day, and they've gathered all the children of the world in the stadium, and also some pedos being released because he got quadrispazzed on a something. I'm trying to remember the exact quote. But he gets there's this really funny scene where he gets fucking. So the idea is this insane pedo's been put in prison, now he's getting released, and there's a bunch of crowds chanting with effigies and stuff. But he's been disabled because he got assaulted in prison. There's this really funny thing where it's he's in some weird robot costume in a playground. That's such a funny bit. But that's essentially the idea of the episode. It goes on about all this different stuff. It really cuts deep into how the media cover pedophilia, and I think it's especially relevant in a day like today, when pedos are what's on the news. I mean, I cover pedos. I mean, I think on the news and YouTube drama, or YouTube videos about documentaries. I cover pedos and stuff. And I mean, I think Brass Eye definitely changed the way that I look at these situations and how I handled them from a young age. Because one of the points that he likes to make is that a lot of this is about how the media cover pedophilia, and you have to understand some context behind it. This was 2001, so around this time there was a very infamous case of a pedophile named Roy Whitling who had done some very bad things to an 8-year-old. It was a big thing across the news. People were like calling for like all the pedo.
That's still talked about today.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was insane at the time. People were calling for like pedo, like sex offenders, like release the list publicly so we can all hunt them down and stuff. And the media obviously made a buck off it and stuff. And in a way, obviously, I think people misinterpreted this as the show somehow being pro pedophilia. Obviously, it's not. But it looks at the way the perception of it in the public is very kind of, that's what it kind of has to hit behind, especially in the way that it like makes the depictions of these pedos really absurd. I mean, the guy literally like walking like as a robot. It's like fear mongering in the sense that they have completely wrapped this up to the point that it ends with them dragging this guy out and then putting him in like a massive cock effigy, just burning him alive. The idea is basically that the media will dramatize. The media is meant to dramatize, obviously, that's what it's meant to do. But if it's covering serious stories, it will dramatize so much to the point that these people look so unalike, and it can genuinely harm how people see pedophilia in real life. Because I think this is great. This was a great point from Stu Bagful. I'm not going to plagiarize this one. I'm crediting it here.
I love Stu Bagful, by the way. Shout out Stu Bagful.
Shout out Stu Bagful. He's great.
What a fucking goat.
So what he saw is that like the way that they see the pedos is they absurd them as these absurd horrific monsters who are like almost like under your, like the ones under your bed and stuff. That's gonna harm more cases because if you see like it affects your idea of what a pedophile is without the fact that pedos can, or like these people can just be like people who which is kind of like what's scary about it. More than anything, it kind of like. Did you see? I'm gonna kind of deviate a bit, but did you see Lakari? That streamer. He pulled up like the video, like weird, like I mean that's he pulled up CSAM. I think he pulled up links to CSAM, and so no one expected it. Well, actually, I'd say people had an idea of knowing because he talked about lollies all the time. But essentially the idea is that like how many. There's a fear of how many streamers are like that, but are much smarter and don't pull up their notepad on stream. Like he could have been doing that. He was doing that for so many years, and the reason we didn't know is because he just didn't pull up his notepad on stream. And it makes you scary because for a lot of his viewers, this is like a person who they think is fairly normal, and he's turned out to be a pedo, and that's what shocks them. It's not like some, the absurdist reality that someone kind of depicts them as. And I guess this really does affect the way Brass Eye does it excellently with all this like satire and stuff and doing the fear mongering as well as being funny at the same time. Because if he just gave a PowerPoint presentation like this and was like, "Here's why it's bad to over dramatize the stuff," then it would have been lame. But he does it with really fun. He does it with some really funny bits, but also some bits that make you squirm in your seat.
Well, his entire point about I get the pedophile episode, but also Brass Eye as a whole is. He's cranking the absurdity of so they're making every issue so serious, but they're cranking up the severity of the publicity of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's got to be.
He's cranking it up to 11 to kind of show them this is how retarded you're being, but we're gonna go worse.
yeah.
Which is awesome.
The best way to describe it is, I guess, to relate to stuff in the modern day. When I was a kid, I loved those Mama Max videos. When I was like 13, I was like, holy shit, dude, he's hunting on pedos. That's awesome. Yeah. But if you look at that with a Brass Eye context, you're like, wow, this guy is like a fucking idiot. Cause, like,
man again, inspired by video game kills a pedophile.
Oh my god.
Can you just imagine that? A man who loves video game Hotline Miami slaughters pedophile in chicken mask.
Literally, yeah. That could have been a Brass Eye bit, man. Like him. Like I mean, there are just stuff that's beyond absurdity in those Max videos. That I mean, a lot of times it just feels like this would be a great bit for Brass Eye. The one where he sends his ass to the pedos. It's like it's so funny.
Shaving his legs and everything.
Shaving his legs and putting some leggings on just to send his ass to these. Pedos.
That reminds me of I don't know how much you're into South Park, but I spoke with a friend about this last night. There's an episode where the police chief goes undercover, and this is very Brass Eye-esque, but he's going undercover as a prostitute, and instead of like, oh, just getting the money and then arresting him, he goes all the way and like sucks the guy off till climax.
Jesus.
And then only after he's done does he arrest him.
Fucking hell. That's insane.
And he's like in full drag and everything.
He's dedicated to the job, you know. Come on.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, getting back to my point is that like, I think Brass Eye handles this very well because you got these news anchors who are genuinely serious, and they did like a musical number at the end. It's like so good. There's so many great bits from that whole Pedogeddon episode because it treats the stuff where it's like these people. I mean, obviously the pedophilia is serious and stuff, and I don't mind when people cover it seriously. You gotta have some sort of serious tone. But when you look at like Roblox channels, for example, who cover all these pedo stuff, I'm going to single them out, but I'm not singling out specific ones. When they cover this stuff, it's all like, red lights and fucking dark music and okay, dickhead, all this like spinning fucking graphics and stuff, and it's like, this
holy
is a bit
shit.
Much.
Uni VHS.
This is a bit.
This is serious.
All right, well, you are literally using this opportunity to flex about how good of an editor you are. Let's not go there.
No.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
That they do that.
Let's not go there.
Spinning graphics. Everything is red.
Okay, I didn't say everything was red. I said red lights.
Red lights.
Red
like
lights.
In the bedroom while they're editing, or in
red
the
light district. That's what I'm saying.
They go to the red light district to
go to the red light district. No, but like those like serious graphics and stuff and music and really overrated stuff.
Yeah.
It does make you think like, wow, that's kind of like that kind of seems like you could really crank that up and make something funny out of it. Because again,
that's what people on Twitter do.
Again, when you have all this thing where it's like, red lights and stuff when this pedo gets exposed, and you have all this like blaring fucking. Again, going back to Mama Max, all this blaring music, and there's a skit where he's hunting down the pedo. It's kind of silly. It's kind of silly when you look
hilarious.
at it.
If you looked at that as obviously because we're still young. I'm 20, just turned 20. So I'm on unk mode. But
I'm
like
15.
Obviously we're kids, and we were told as kids, and I think us two, being who we are, will like had the sense to know like, oh, pedo bad, even just like kind of instinctually. So like you'd watch that as like a 13, 12-year-old, right? And be like, oh shit, dude how is he getting away
bad?
with this, just putting it on YouTube?
That's probably what the audience is, yeah. I mean, absolutely, yeah. I mean, that was the thing with Max. It was like, damn, this is like some edgy shit. I was impacted.
Well, because like he went in
that video and he was like, I was sent child porn. He had like this whole bit. He was crying. I was like,
thanks,
damn.
Man.
Back when I was watching that, I was like, holy shit, that's dark. That's really fucked up. But then when you watch it, it's like, this guy's literally like got like a CP bit. It's like, what the hell is this? So I think the internet in a way is definitely providing it. And I think it is a Brass Eye, like a show being like 20 years earlier, is a lot more relevant now because it shows, again, it highlights like the relevancy of exposing stuff. Now, it doesn't mean like, hey, you can't put dark music in. I think if you put like happy-go-lucky stuff, you don't have to do that, obviously. I make videos like this. I make videos like this, and I'm not trying to determine how to make videos like this. I'm not trying to write the Bible on how to make videos like this. I'm completely fair that in some way I'm guilty of the standard. But I wouldn't say I'm like the person who's like it's hard for me to say. Hard for me to describe it, I guess. Because obviously the videos that I do. I tried to take steps in which I wouldn't over dramatize stuff. That would happen probably when early like 2021, 2022. I was like, this disgusting thing. But you have to also show that this is like these people are like normal people, in the sense that they present as normal people basically. You could never make out that these people were pedos just from looks and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's I think the stigma of a lot of people being like that guy looks like he would have done it. Where like, but then you'll see like I guess the pyro stuff is
Okay, yeah. Peter Cynical, we're talking about that.
Peter Cynical. It's like if you didn't know, you'd just think he was a funny YouTuber. He doesn't give off that vibe. Unlike, but like it came out in 2017 and stuff like that. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like if that never came out, like I think if us two weren't in commentary, we wouldn't give
We probably
much
wouldn't know
attention
enough,
to it.
yeah. Well, the thing is, I think he played a lot into the absurdity of it. He was like, well,
Yeah,
it's just some big bellies flopping around, and I'm having big
yeah.
furry get role plays. I'm like,
Pyro's
well,
a smart guy,
you
so
did it,
he knows how to play the game.
you
He's
did it
watched
with.
Brass Eye.
He has
He
not
pretended
watched
to be a
Brass Eye
school.
video. He pretended to be a school. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what he does.
Man pretends to be
Man
dog
pretends
to fart.
Man pretends to be man pretends
Big
to.
round
That is such
furry.
a funny one where he's fucking that bit where they're just like the man's pretending to be a
Mm.
school. And it's like like the school
Here he is
moving.
seen caught fleeing from the scene.
Oh, it's hilarious. I mean, yeah, that's the main one though. I mean, again, Brass Eye was pretty controversial. In the sense that I got a lot of Ofcom complaints. People fucking rant and rave because they're like, dude, this is pro pedo. And it's like, well, no, that's not the point. I don't want to be some hipster being like, you just don't get it, man. But I mean, if you look at the point of the thing, it's the fact that there's nothing to do with whether pedos are good or bad. It's the fact that this is how the media treats pedos. And that is the thing. That is how the thing is, you should not have 100% view of what they are from the media. You should understand that yes, these can sometimes be absurd people who personally, but also, these are people who are like normal. These people who will look normal to you, and that's kind of the shock of it, and that's kind of the horror
Mhm.
around it. At least I'd say with my videos, I do try again. I consciously think about this, and I think like, is there a way I'm doing this too? Am I amping this up too much? So that people are looking at this in a different way? Am I kind of just going way overboard with what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do is make sure it's on like a level where it's informative, it has the tone that people want, obviously, or the tone people expect, but it's not, absurdly all over the place.
Yeah.
It's
And
like,
it looks good.
hmm.
You want it to look good. Obviously you do.
Oh, there's a
Everyone
creative
wants
aspect
their
in
thing
these
to look
videos.
good,
There's a
yeah.
creative aspect in them, obviously, because at the end of the day, it's still like the only like it's drama in a way. People hate to say it's drama,
Well, you
but it
wouldn't
is
do it if
drama.
you didn't want to have fun.
Well, there's
Yeah,
interest.
I
Yeah,
guess. You
there
know
is
what I
interest.
mean?
I mean, there's an interest in there. Absolutely, I'd say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But basically what I'm saying is that like, the sense of this is that this is drama, whether you like it or not. Like the way that people look at this is drama. So, and if these cases weren't happening, and if we just normal stuff, people would probably make documentaries on this similar kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And just doing like, I don't know, the documentary and how this guy clickbaited or whatever. People were doing that back then. I think it's like
Oh,
to
yeah.
think they wouldn't be doing it now, if there weren't just so many waves of people who are pedos and stuff. I think there absolutely would be. So what I'm trying to get at here is that there isn't like a Brass Eye model. Well, he said himself, he was just like, I didn't want it to be anything big, I kind of just wanted it to be funny. And although I love him, I cannot agree with that in the way that some of these scenes are directly meant to be very direct shots at how this stuff is covered.
Yeah.
Because you have such a dose of absurd, stupid things that when they get like something else when they get like an actual like a depiction of a real or like real pedophilia in this absurd way, you get uncomfortable. I mean, there are scenes in there that will make you squirm in your seat, and I just fucking hate watching them because I'm
Yeah.
like, I know he's trying to like. I know it's like a satirist thing. The thing where they have the beauty pageants, and they have like the they have the bit where the kids got like implanted breasts on them is insane
Yeah.
and really fucking weird. But that is a direct shot, a very heavy-handed shot to say, but a direct shot at like beauty pageants, child beauty pageants, and the fact that they were doing this some really like depressing documentaries about
Disgusting
how these
thing,
people are
yeah.
kind of just treated and stuff. And so to take that to its absurdity is both like insane and also like really uncomfortable. There's a part where the pedo comes, he breaks into the news station that they're holding it. And he's like, he has them locked up like under the fucking like gavel and stuff, like with I don't know what the word for it is. I forgot. But he has him he's like I think it's like the stocks. I think he's got his like his head in his hands and this head in his hands and like the thing. And he's questioning this guy who was like part of like the military pedophile organization Millipede. And he's asking him, "Do you what do you think about?" He's like questioning him on this stuff. And you know, he goes and then he says, "Do you fancy my kids? He brings this kid over and he's like, "Do you look at my kid? Do you fancy him?" And he's like, "Actually, are you attracted to him?" And he says, "No, I just don't fancy him." And the Chris Morris is like, "What the? Huh?" And for that, I know I'm describing it obviously a lot more haphazardly. Again, it's worth if you're interested, it's worth watching the show.
A lot of the best comedic parts isn't even the dialogue; it's the timing of it, all the way he's saying it. So we could never do it justice just by saying what he says.
Yeah, but
'Cause they have such a specific way of saying, like, it's if a child took over a newsroom, you know, and they're trying to give their best performance of an adult by doing the big shouty voice.
Yeah. But this
Why
part
don't you find kids attractive?
this part where he's disappointed that the P doesn't find his son attractive is what breaks the tension. But before that, it is this really uncomfortable conversation where we've had these absurd ideas, and then an actual pedo has been shown. A depiction of an actual pedo has been shown. A guy who is relatively like I don't know, normal, like relatively normal by like societal standards. He's not like he's nowhere near that, and he's just like a guy. Like there is again, mentally there is a distinction between us and them. But there is no thing where it's like you kind of determine this.
You could not point that out.
You could not point that out. And again, it's a bad thing that people that you don't know could turn out to be that, and it's like, and again, it kind of scares you when you think about it. And so, you know, when it happens, it's like, well, fuck, like that will hit you harder. And obviously, even that that kind of standard where you think of pedos only as these absurd monsters will only bring like a different stereotype to it. Because if your kid goes up and tells you, you know, my uncle molested me, or uncle, yeah,
Uncle Bob.
My uncle, yeah, actually, Uncle Bob, yeah, fuck it, Uncle Bob molested me. You think, well, Uncle Bob is not like those absurd creatures that we are shown. He's not this absurd monster that we like being depicted and stuff. He's Uncle Pete, you know him. He goes to like the grocers and stuff. You wouldn't think that stuff, and so it makes people underreport. It makes people like
chippy every Wednesday.
Exactly. So there needs to be a level of degree when you're talking about this stuff. There needs to be something where you don't over dramatize this for views and stuff, or for whatever. And just be like,
well, especially if it's the news.
I mean, yeah,
the
that's true.
Is fact.
We're more. I guess that's true. I think at least with YouTube, you kind of know what you're coming for is entertainment in a way, but you also are looking for information. You're looking for information, and that way, the news as well is a thing that I think is relatively learned, at least from these times. There is no. I don't see many. I don't look on the news often, but when I do, I don't see many like huge things where it's like, oh, boom, dramatic music and stuff. They just say like, this person is a pedo, and then they do the coverage and stuff. And like,
they shuffle the papers as the music fucking plays.
I think it's very obvious that press may apply today, but it was a criticism that was very attached to what it was looking at the time, its own time, and in that sense, it was looking at the hysteria and the media's fueling of that hysteria to an almost absurd degree. There's a part where there's a really funny bit where it's been robbed to death, but they literally they cover the news and it's like a pedophile's car got burned down, but if like his name's Peter File, so yeah, there's a solid little bit there. But yeah, I guess
they do throw in like really little funny catchphrases to make it a comedy as well, which is a thing that I wanted to touch in. Is like these jokes that they're making aren't these long-winded bits where you're waiting to get to parts. There is just parts where they just say something fucking ridiculous just to get you to laugh.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
Like
like
my favorite one is the woman just like he asks her a question. He's like, "Yes, he really is a fucking shit," and then it just cuts to a normal part.
yeah. I mean, the joke. That's the thing. The jokes catch you off guard, and the real. Oh, and the thing is, when there's like an actual bit that comes up, you kind of get like a little strange. The bit where the bit where fucking he puts the. This is a really rough bit, but because it does make it a little comfortable. But the part where he gets like the pictures of like like an animal, and then he puts like a picture of a penis on. It's like, all right, is this bad? And the guy's like, well, I don't know. The thing is, Brassite also benefited a lot from the fact, and this is going from the wider stuff. I want to move off the pedo-geddon stuff now because I think I've made a point there. Brassite's this wider thing where it would be more. It makes it more funny because sometimes it genuinely feels like they got real people. It's like sometimes it's people's real reactions. People just off the street. Dude, the part where oh my god, in Pedo-geddon, the part where he's like, they have this thing in Malaysia where they have this device that's the size of a walnut, and if it's detected by a child's voice, it grows to the size of like a TV, and it's put in his ass. What do you think? Is that a good measure for the thing? I'm like, that's just hilarious. But like, that's a part of it. The fact that they have like all this stuff, you know, where you got like I don't know, like we have like all these bits and stuff. Where you have like the bits with like actual people in. That makes it more funny because you just rope these people into it. And it's made it very, especially the fact where they get the celebrities in. When they get actual celebrities in and dupe them and just make them look like idiots, it shows that these people are really not authorities on a lot of this stuff. And it's like, well, wow.
Oh yeah,
like the part where
he makes them look like just like kind of like not
complete,
kiddish, but he'll act
like complete idiot. No, like complete. Yeah. They're like complete numpties. The episode about cake, which is the drugs episode. They have a drug. They have a new drug came in from Czechia called Czechoslovakia. Let me be clear, which did not exist at the time. They got a new drug from Czechoslovakia. It's called cake, and it's a big round cake. And apparently, it makes people throw up their guts and stuff. And they get like actual people to do it. And one of the guys who was in that documentary, or in Brasside, I say documentary, but the guy who was in there was David Amis. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, his last name, but he was an MP of Parliament. He was a member of Parliament, and he spoke about it in Parliament after he did that. For real, and he was like, "Oh, can I find this? Oh, this is hilarious."
Well, that's just like that. That's a good point of like how even you look at these big people, right? You look at these news people. You're like, they must have teams that verify everything, and then you'll get a show like Brassite that literally tells them there's a drug that makes you do this. They'll get a guy to pretend to do it, and then they'll go to fucking Parliament about it.
Like, absolutely,
it's so easy.
It shows how
the point where they just like.
It shows how insane these people are when they try and talk to some sort of authority, when they talk to some sort of thing.
Yeah.
That you can just kind of tell them to say the most the fact that the media's got to some point, you can tell them to say the most stupid shit possible, and they will buy it hook, line, and sinker.
You could call your local news today and be like, a man has just shoved a firework up his asshole and is currently lighting it. I can hear it. They would put it on the newspaper tomorrow, and you. I
don't think they put. I don't know if they do that.
Yes, they would.
I don't know if they.
I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna test it.
You're gonna You do that, and then you send me in private if it actually goes on the newspaper, or if you get actually in modern day, you might get like a knock at your door for misinformation by the police. So actually, don't try it. If you're in the UK, do not try that. You have
violated the law. You do not have a lying pass.
There are just so many good bits from all this stuff. But the part in the drugs episode where legally they can't carry drugs, so instead they have like helium balloons with the drugs in it. And they're just walking alongside them.
Which is a funny,
it's really funny
satire of how we treat weed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we have really weird laws about weed. You can have it, you can smoke it, you do what you want. You just can't get caught with it. That's our law. It's like, you can have it, but if like someone sees you having it, you're breaking the law immediately. It's like, what?
Well, isn't that all law?
Well, no, it's legal to like. We have such weird laws. Where
medicinally, but without the medicinal, no.
Yeah, but I think that's also stupid, though.
What, we could
I'm
just
also
have...
free of drugs.
Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. But I'm saying, like, I don't understand the law thing where it's like, where you can have it, just you don't get caught with it. That's kind of all law. You can rob a store, just
But you
don't
know what
get
I mean.
caught. What do
You
you...
know what I mean, though.
I mean, you can technically have it as long as the police don't. I mean, that's... Yeah, I mean, that's true.
You could tell someone
You
I
could,
have
you
weed,
could fuck a
and
kid, but, like, I
they
mean...
could go to them
Hmm.
and be like, they could go to the police, be like, he has weed, and it's like, there's nothing we can do.
Moving ahead from those episodes, there's a lot of Brass Eye is this great way to just kind of tear down all these societal stuff because it fires on all fucking on all angles in different ways.
On all angles, it makes fun of literally everything. And this isn't us being
Oh.
like back before everything was woke. Because
Back
Christopher
before
Morris
everything
definitely
was
is a
woke.
very progressive guy.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's the entire point of the show, is it's like you guys are just like so fucking brain dead that you just stick to how you know it.
Mm.
And
I mean,
you cannot see like either a lighter side, or you cannot just like emit a presence that isn't just ooh.
when you look at the when you look at like the trying to draw some societal stuff out of it and be like, well, what does this mean about that? Some episodes I think are just there to be funny, as far as I'm clear. I mean, like the
like the running,
the animals
the bit
one,
he does about the running of the wasp.
the running of the wasp.
It's just people, just a fucking race that's happening, and they put a wasp sound in it.
The part where they've got like they're like because of like space conservation, they're growing they're growing like crops in like a vertical way up to the sun. I was gonna say the animals one is one of my favorites. It's the first one.
Yeah,
And they have this. I mean, they have like they have like they have like cow like crimes against cows and stuff, and they have like they spray paint the cows with like
this guy's
there's like militant. Yeah, there's like militant guy and he sprays up like twats on a cow and it's like this is an entirely like serious news thing.
It's so fun because obviously we live in the north, and the north is very different to the south of the UK. It's polar opposites from when I went to London. Nobody's like how I imagined they would be.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because I didn't know anyone there or whatever, but like the same with Scotland, which isn't England. It's not North UK, but it's close enough to where you'd think, oh, there's some overlap, but there's not. Like it's very weird. Like, and even like when I thought about this with the US, they're all kind of the same, like how they interact and how they act.
I don't know about that.
Well, they're all fucking racist, dude.
They're all racist.
But
no, but there's a difference between like
in the
southerners.
north.
There's like southerners, and then there's like Cali fucking people.
Cali man. Yeah, no, that's a thing. Yeah, I get what you mean.
I like New Yorkers and stuff. You're just bullshitting. I don't even know if I don't even know if Northerners are that different from Southerners. This guy doesn't even live here.
I don't even like Brass Eye.
This guy doesn't even.
I think I'm more of a Jam kind of guy. You ever seen Jam?
I haven't seen Jam. I have to admit.
Jam. I think it's got Chris Morris in it.
I know he made Jam, but it seems like I just like heard about it.
It's on the same like hilariousness. There's an episode.
That one's more absurd than Brass Eye.
Oh yeah, it's absurdist comedy, but there's an episode where this couple goes to get their telly fixed, and the guy who's got it, it's Mark Heap, who plays Jim in Friday Night Dinner. If anyone has seen Friday Night Dinner. A great comedy in itself, but there's they get this like repairman to come in about the telly, and he just keeps putting lizards around the house. He just will not stop putting lizards in the house. It's fucking awesome. And they're like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's a lizard." And he's like, "How is that helping?" He's like, "It's not." He just wants them there. I was gonna say about the point of the north and the south is, I don't know if Chris Morris was from the north or not, but
he's from like he's from. I'd say he was like some more south. I'd say. Yeah, he's trying to say there's like a northern comedy part to this because I don't know
if you've seen a lot of southern comedy.
I would say
like
that. I mean,
stuff like Outnumbered.
Okay, Chris Morris went to uni in Bristol. Well, actually, he went to. No, he lived in Bristol for ages. Where was he born?
Yeah.
I think like Northampton or something. I'll check. Cambridgeshire. Yeah, I don't think it's a southern thing. A southern thing at all.
You don't think it's something because
Or like any
there
kind
was
of
always
divide.
this
I think
thing
it's
I
just like
had
I
where
think it's just like a British comedy thing. That's it.
yeah, I would watch a lot of this is a very opinionated thing. This isn't me being like the North and the South is super different. They're not that different, but it's just the way people interact and the way people talk about things is like different.
Yeah.
But or the way they will treat things. Because
Hmm.
if we had a northern fucking, if a lot of the TV places or like big London Parliament was in North, it'd be like, I don't give a fuck, pal. I just want to smoke weed, um, shit like that. I'll go to bookies. The
Hmm.
bookies,
Yeah.
um, I, there's this weird like kind of familiarity I get where it's like if I watched that and I grew up in like I don't know central London. I'd be like, well, that doesn't happen. But as a guy in the north, where in the north, there's a lot of blue comedy. You're very blue with the way you speak and stuff like that. You know the
Blue
term. You're very
comedy?
blue.
Blue comedy? I don't know. I've
It
never
just
heard
means like
blue
sad
comedy.
comedy, like just being an
Oh.
asshole comedy with banter
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah, 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 yeah. I get what you mean, yeah.
being very blue.
Hmm.
And that's what it personally gave me. It was like, oh, okay. Like blue comedy in the sense that it's just insanely silly, which is like not a lot of stuff really does that anymore because not a lot of people watch like British comedies on the telly, like
Hmm.
the TV market and stuff. So you'll actively go to watch specific stuff, and a lot of the times that's American shows, like It's Always Sunny, or which is a great show, or Friends, or Seinfeld, who is a pedophile. But
Okay, yeah.
um, he dated a fucking 17-year-old at 38.
That's true.
Toastify.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true.
1738.
1730. That's a funny video.
Yeah, I'm kind of waffling, but I feel like you understand what I'm saying. Is like there's a
No.
familiarity in the comedy. No, I don't
Uh,
get you saying it all. You're a
I
fucking
don't.
loser.
I mean, I don't agree. I don't. I mean, I don't. I don't. This idea that there's some sort of northern, idea of there's no northern.
Personally,
I
to
mean,
me,
well, but maybe for you personally, I don't think
yeah.
I overall just because Chris Morris is
You
in
think
this.
it's just a British thing?
Yeah, I mean, Chris Morris just lives in the South. Like he's lived in the South where he was born in
Yeah, but he's
Cambridgeshire.
spiritually
Actually,
north.
okay. I don't. Okay, what are we doing now?
Never met a guy who's spiritually north.
I'm spiritually in the north of England. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and one thing I wanted to mention, if you want to clip out just the thing, is the turns that a lot of these comedians have had into more serious roles. Like Alan Partridge, Steve Coogan played fucking Jimmy Savile in an amazing TV show, The Reckoning. And he's a very renowned British comedian with the Alan Partridge character, who's like a
Yeah.
journalist, podcaster from back in the day kind of character. And he's fucking just like stupid as shit, and he's mad at everyone all the time, and he thinks he's the shit.
But also, you
I
can do
think
these incredibly serious. They can do these incredibly
yeah,
serious roles. I think obviously, Versailles was a jumping point for a bunch of people. I think these. I think you can recognize a lot of people from the. People have said Simon Pegg was the pedo in the fucking stocks, but I don't think that's true. I think it's just a rumor.
really.
I'll have a look. Oh, you know what we'll do? I'll have a look.
Oh, he
because
played it, or he was a pedophile.
No, I think if he was a pedo, then people would fucking like do that stuff. But I want to see if he played the
You want to know
character.
a person who does a YouTube that I think he's from the UK. He's still British, but he does the whole kind of
Oh my god!
Partridge, more Alan Partridge than Chris Morris kind of comedy. He's a very close YouTuber to me because I remember watching him as a kid.
Yeah.
But Stephen Tries
Oh
with
yeah,
with
yeah.
his comedy.
No, he's much
He
more in
takes on
that.
that character.
He's much more in that regard. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
Oh
like
my
his Planet of the
God.
Vapes or his whole like chav kind of thing
Dude,
going on.
I'm looking
It's
at
funny.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia. Simon Pegg did play the pedo in the stocks in the pillory.
It's Shaun of the Dead.
In fucking pedo get it.
There's a weird no. If you
Dude,
guys haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, it's actually an allegory for why you shouldn't
Dude,
be a
I
pedophile.
just saw the fucking line about Chris Morris posing as a rapper who dates children called jailbait. called JLBA. That is fucking gold. Dude,
That
as soon as
is
Mr. Girl,
was the
as soon
term
as Miss,
jailbait really that long of a thing?
yeah. Dude, this is
Jesus.
2001. I can only think of Mr.
Oh, of
Girl, by the
course.
way, when I say this. A rapping days. It's obviously an Eminem parody, though. It's an Eminem parody because he was talking about all this dark shit
Yeah.
in his music and be like, oh, I'm gonna fucking rape people. And Chris Morris was like, well, this is an actual guy who is a pedo, and he's like, they have all these like adoring fans. So I'm sorry, I'm just so fascinated by you know, all this like all this stuff with pedo getting and stuff, and just kind of how it relates to the modern day.
A lot of the reason why we do this channel, or and we always loop back to this is why we do this channel, but
This is why we do
with
this.
with Brass Eye, we grew up with these things, and we grew up finding stuff that we shouldn't inherently find funny, fucking hilarious, or stuff like that. For me personally, I'm not going to speak on your behalf, but I feel like we'd relate on the fact of like we probably have family members, or we just kind of grew up watching stuff where like that is like, oh, that's just what's funny
Yeah.
to us.
Well, this
And,
comes into a thing of what the humor is in modern day. I think I had a discussion about this with a friend like ages ago. What we find funny nowadays would probably what Zoomers would find funny is a lot more strange to people who are like millennials or whatever, which I think is true with every generation. Every generation gets stranger.
Which is fine as well.
And yeah, there's nothing inherently an issue with it, but I think people get taken aback when there are a lot of like Zoomers make a lot of jokes about killing themselves.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh my god, really? I'm so sorry to hear that. And it's like, well,
Like
no.
the self-loathing humor and stuff like that.
Yeah, a lot of self-deprecation. People, a bit like, people be like, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that and stuff. And it's like, well, no, it's not like a crazy thing, but people have been surrounded so much by this, that it just kind of makes sense to joke about it. That's why people talk about pedo jokes and all so much. Cause that's why we find that, because that's what we've been seeing through. People base their comedy, what they see funny, as what they've experienced in life and stuff. So
Yeah, I think the reason why I found a more familiarity with it in Northern culture is probably because I grew up in the North. I'm not a Southern person in any regard,
Yeah.
I've been to London once and I fucking hated it, But there's that sense of being like, the things I grew up with is so directly related to Brass Eye or any other show like that, maybe in between as Peep Show, stuff like that, which they take place in the South, which is a good like counteract to mine. Is those two shows take place in the South, but it's this integral familiarity to me where it's like, oh yeah, I fuck with that type of humor so heavy, where you've bound to experience a lot of those.
I think
like gossip from
you're
friends
emphasizing too much on this north-south thing. I think it's just kind of relatable.
because I hate
now.
Southerners.
Yeah, that's why you have a raging hatred for Southerners. Where I'm fairly.
I know 3 Southerners,
and you hate them all.
and they are annoying, and they make me want to cry.
Yeah,
And they speak so posh, where I look at them and I'm like, I could turn your face into a fucking beef sarnie.
What the hell? Oh my
This
God.
is gonna be just Spinling's hate towards Southerners.
Spinling's
I have
well, I don't think it's
hatred
like a
towards
northern
Southerners.
thing because he lives in.
No, I don't
it's
think
just a
I don't
British
think
thing.
it's inherently a northern thing. I think it's just a personal tie to my.
I think we're more
culture.
tied because it's an edgier thing rather than it being any
Yeah.
sort of north-south divide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably what I'm trying to get at, but I'm retarded. Low genuinely.
Loco Canually. I'm reading this Wikipedia. This stuff I didn't even include in my video.
I'm
Bomb
looking at a
threat?
video
There
of
were
a man
bomb
with an
threats?
AirPod shotgun shooting a Gucci Among Us right now.
What the hell? Yes, you're not even looking at the topic that we're talking about. You're not watching some brass.
No,
in the
I was
background?
I was reading through the wikis and stuff.
You're reading through it. Yeah, go on. Tell me something crazy then. Tell me something nuts.
Brass Eye came out in 1997 and 2001. On that, wait 1 second. Shit. Did Brass Eye? No. The special episode Peter Get It came out in 2001. The Wikipedia says 2001, but it came out on Channel 4 in 1997.
What?
Really,
Oh.
1997?
Yeah, 1997. They did a thing, just like the entire thing on dating and stuff. There was like an entire thing that predicted Tinder exactly, where it's just like, would you shag? It's like a
This
swipe
would be a
left,
great thumbnail,
swipe
by the way.
left for What have you sent me?
This was one of the news articles.
Show laughs at
about-
sex abuse. Wow.
And then the best PC is now £999.
That's PC.
Morris, the man with a mission to cause offense.
There's a really they covered this in the news. And on the other side of the article was like there were a thing like, look at these 16-year-olds' breasts. They're getting big now. Whatever it was. It wasn't like it was like one of these celebrities and stuff. And they're like, well, she's getting like all fucking plump now. And it's like, what the hell, man?
It's the niche baby right there, by the way.
The niche baby? Yeah, dude. That is so fucking dumb. We would humbly suggest that anyone who thinks pedophilia is a fit subject for humor needs psychiatric help. It's just, this is the thing. I think brass eyes have been admired a lot more by a newer generation because because sorry, the fucking baby is sending me.
We'll put the images up for anyone who wants to have a good old hearty chuckle with us.
Sorry,
there's an image I found of a news article that came out for probably the Pedogeddon episode, right?
No, it is absolutely.
And, yeah, and the tagline is "Show laughs at child sex abuse. Morris, the man with a mission to cause offense," and it's this photo of in black and white, of this big cutout of a picture of a baby. Smiling, looking to the left as Morris looks pissed off, looking to the right. And it just looks like the niche AI baby.
I guess I don't know if there's a lot more to say really about Brass Eye. It's a good show. It's a great show. I think Pedogeddon is just something I love to talk about because it's an incessantly kind of strange thing to kind of develop on, especially in modern day, I think. But I think the fact that it's so controversial, the fact that it pushes boundaries and does some really sick, just some sick jokes. Let me be fucking clear. Just some bits that are entirely like I hate watching some of these bits because but also it's a lot. The other time it's like really funny to me. The way that the media look to this, or the way that like the public see this is like, oh, this is like supporting pedophilia, or this is some sick fucking thing. I think post Jimmy Savile, I think that has definitely changed a lot of views. And how we see this kind of stuff and how we cover it and whether we...
Well, there were Jimmy Savile jokes on the day-to-day and stuff.
Well, not
like
even...
that.
This is like the radio show before. I don't even have the day-to-day, but the radio show, there's a little bit where it's like, Jimmy Savile drops dead, and then all the kids are not like favorable about him. And to be fair, with Jimmy Savile, there was always a kind of a thing where this guy was a pedo. Bro's entire bit was, I am a pedo, and then it turned out he actually was a pedo. But the thing is, in that case, that was a very...
remember the Louis Theroux documentary?
Yeah.
He just says, who cares? Who knows if I am? Maybe I am.
Yeah.
Who gives one, basically?
He was joking about it because he was just kind of like... I mean, hiding it? I don't even know about hiding it, but he was open about it, to be fair. He was just like, yeah, I mean... Well, he didn't say it directly. Let me be clear. Actually, I think a lot of people covered up for him. A lot of people covered up for him. Actually, I'll take this back. People actually covered up for him.
That was his biggest defense. He says this in a documentary that was made on Netflix. Very good documentary, 3-parter about Jimmy Savile. Is I'm not clever. I'm tricky. You slip up if you're clever. You don't slip up if you're tricky. And it's like, how has he said that on live TV with all these allegations, and someone has like not been like,
because there was a cover-up around him. There was absolutely a cover-up around him. There was absolutely a cover-up around him. People BBC were saying that stuff. They said that he had like some ties to the royal family, which is actually kind of crazy. He said sending Thatcher, that as well, Thatcher. But he was like sending. But I think he got messages from the royal family and stuff. I don't know, like letters and stuff were out there. I saw something about that.
He did charities, and Princess Diana and
Princess
Diana. Like congratulate them.
Can't be slamming Princess Diana too soon.
No, I love Di. Too soon.
Too soon.
Literally how everyone acts about a Princess Diana joke still.
Too soon.
Too soon, mate. Too soon, pal. She would have been queen. She would have been proper good and all. It's okay that it wasn't being run over.
Kids, wear your seatbelt. Right? Guys, wear your seatbelt. All right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't think
get chased by paparazzi down a tunnel.
I think especially Pedogeddon, I think as a societal impact, even though I don't think it's meant to be, and I don't think any of what Chris Morris was doing was. I don't know if he meant it in like a big way, but I think there is a part. I think he prioritized comedy over it. But I think in Peter
Yeah.
Geddon, there are especially some bits. I think even he said in an interview that it was because his school had been investigated, and they were like, oh, they were trying to look in, and they realized that like I think that he said like they spent like a bunch of time just wasting it, and then he saw like a documentary where like they kind of like they pressed this guy into like showing his trauma on TV, where they're just like saying like this is it's this like Newsnight thing, and they say like this like guy, and they trying to get like, oh yeah, like he was like abused and stuff, and then like they walk hand in hand into the sunset in the end with Carol Vorderman, and you're like, what the hell just happened here? Like, is this like a real? Because it's obviously not. No one's saying that pedos are good, but people are also saying like, hey, you should probably treat this in a way it's not like where it's like at least like it's evident that you.
Infantilizing.
Yeah, infantilizing. Yeah, that's the thing where you look at this and you're not very. It was obvious that you obviously. I think if you want to like, I think there's a thing. Entertainment has to be provided for everything. I think nowadays, people obviously have to look at that stuff in a very interesting way. But there is a degree to where you can take it. There is a line. There's those Mama Max people. That completely take it beyond a level. And I think that's it was really all the controversy came up. I looked back at those videos and I was like, this is terrible. It's just like because it's obviously I mean you can rally behind pedos are not pedos are good. Catching pedos is good and stuff, and I mean that's fine and all. But not everyone's like a Hotline Miami enemy, you know. You can't like go and do. Some people are just like sick freaks, and sometimes sometimes the hard truth is that people get away with stuff.
Yeah.
And I hate the fact that those videos were just like, and he's presenting it in such a serious manner, to the point that it almost just makes it look stupid. Like all the ways he's trying to make you take him as seriously as possible is just dehumanizing it in a way where there is still an element of this that people get harmed, and you're not like bro's got the main character syndrome. It's like, well, it's not all about you, and it's about like,
Yeah.
give me the information on this stuff and show me what happened here, and you don't have to make some big deal about it. And
The reason why you like, and obviously this might be ironic. The reason why a lot of people should be covering, personally, in my opinion, and it's why I've moved away from commentary. The reason why a lot of people should be talking about such serious stuff that involves the sanctity of children, or like very abusive acts being done online is for those people. It's to make those people know that these people aren't getting away with it.
When you look at these kind of topics, there is a thing where it can go too far, and I think that's something you got to keep in mind, because when it goes too far, you can almost undercut your entire message. And when you amp things up to however much you want, there will be it will turn absurd, and I think that's kind of what he was hitting at with what Chris Morris is hitting at, and that's what he uses to highlight the points where it's like, how do these people go about this stuff? That's what he uses to make his criticism, and I think that is genuinely a lot to take away from. And I think in modern day, I think we're going to start seeing more of that. I think as newer people come in, they will think that taking stuff seriously all the time is what they need, and I wouldn't say taking stuff seriously, but making it the most serious thing they can, because what they believe, or how they see it.
There was a thing I wanted to say, and I think you said it before, being like, you could never make a show like this again.
Oh, absolutely! You could never make a show like this again.
Joking about, and obviously not to the extent.
Satire is a constantly evolving genre, because you'll be making fun of the future. Or you'll be making fun of it's a look into the future in some ways, because it seems more as you get older you realize how all these things seem to be kind of going predicting it. And his idea of making it like Chris Morris's idea of making some stuff like so absurd is kind of working, because now it feels like things are getting more absurd day by day, because the new generations don't really learn from the past. They don't know the past, and so they see the developments that have been made, and they just kind of build off that and think like, oh, it's got to be this, and they go in a completely different direction, and it just keeps going on and on and on. All right, I think we have milked this for all it is. I don't really have a lot else to say other than
Don't watch the show, by the way. We don't want you to.
don't watch it. We're gonna gatekeep this. I think it greatly affected the way that I look at the world, and how I see like the media.
Yeah.
And again, to reiterate my point from at the start, we are in a world where media has drastically changed. Back then, it used to just be the fucking news, and that was it. And Brass Eye locked itself a lot on the news. But now we got the internet and all this other stuff, and it's expanded greatly. And also, we're in an age of disinformation, an age of bias. There's that. There's that.
There's that terrible show that no one knows.
Okay.
The best show you've never seen.
The best show you've never seen, and it's going to be some 3-hour documentary, just going over the entire show.
6-hour video.
Six-hour
This man is yellow for an amazing reason. Well, the Utopia video. Because he's always talking about the colors.
I don't watch Pyrocynical. I don't watch
He's good. What did he do?
I think it's some furry stuff, man. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Thank you guys for watching. See ya.
Bye. Just end off the thing like that.
Yeah.
All right. Actual outro. Thank you guys for watching, listening to this WebNav podcast. We're going up in the world. We're going up in the world. Share with your friends. Share with your family. Share with your dog. Come on.
Go on a walk, you fucking loser.
Go walk your dog. That's what I'm saying. You know.
Go walk your dog, you fucking pedophile. What the fuck are you still doing here? This has been an hour-and-a-half episode talking about a British TV show, and I brought up weed and Jimmy Savile. What are you doing, dude? Go outside.
Bro's crashing out.
Fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck this shit. I'm calling my local takeaway.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank what you. Thank you.
Thank what you. Bye now.